Thank you, TJ. I'm joined with Nolan Clay, who returns to bring us more from his perspective of the SEC Women's Soccer Tournament in Pensacola. Thanks for joining us, Nolan.
Yeah, I'm excited to be on today, talk about some soccer after a really fun weekend. So yeah, let's get to it.
All right, let's get into it. Going into tournament play, which teams are the biggest obstacles standing in the way of Texas winning the SEC tournament, and why can Texas beat them?
Yeah, Texas heads into the tournament as the 3 seed, and while they absolutely cannot overlook their matchup against a good LSU squad in the quarterfinals, I do think their biggest obstacles in this tournament will end up being the 2 teams who finished higher than the Horns. Those teams are the number 1 seed Mississippi State Bulldogs and the number 2 seed Arkansas Razorbacks, who both beat the Longhorns this season. These 2 squads are obviously 2 of the best teams in the country, but they do their damage in different ways. Mississippi State is anchored by a stout defense that ranks number 1 in Division I in goals allowed per game, conceding about 0.2 of a goal per game. Arkansas, on the other hand, is led by a flying attack that ranks number 1 in Division I in goals scored per game, with almost 4 goals netted per game. While this seems like a daunting task for the Longhorns, they do have some hope. Texas showed during the regular season that they could compete with these teams, as they only lost to both of these squads by 1 goal each. The Longhorns also have 2 of the most prolific players in the country in Lexi Misable and Amalia Villarreal. At any moment, these players can change a game with a moment of brilliance, which is such a luxury for a team to have. Winning this tournament definitely won't be easy, but Texas does have the talent to compete with the best of the best.
All right, thanks for that, Nolan. What are a couple of specific weaknesses that Texas needs to improve on if they want to win the SEC tournament, and how can they try to fix them?
Yeah, I think there's one thing that the Horns do need to tighten up heading to the postseason play, and that is their defense. During SEC play, the Longhorns ranked 7th in the conference in goals allowed, with opposing teams netting 11 goals in 10 conference games. Now, don't get me wrong, those numbers are not astonishingly bad, but they're about middle of the road when it comes to the SEC play, and the Longhorns don't want to be middle of the road. They want to be at the top. If Texas wants these numbers to improve, they've got to change their game plan a bit. When it comes to tournament and knockout play, it's always about getting the win by any means necessary. This means that if Texas is winning later in the game, I believe they should consider setting up in a deeper, more defensive formation, making it harder for the opposition to score. It's never the prettiest sight in the world, but if it gets the job done, that's all that matters. Another small weakness I noticed about this Texas squad is how many times they've been caught offside. The Longhorns tallied the most offsides in the SEC this season with 60. While offsides aren't a huge problem, it is something Texas should be looking to fix. If the attackers can time a few of their runs just a bit more better, it can lead to a few more goals for this already prolific attack, which sure wouldn't hurt.
And finally, Nolan, which specific player do you think will be the most important for Texas in this SEC tournament?
Yeah, I'm actually going to throw a little bit of a curveball at you for this answer. I think most people would tell you that players like Lexi Misamo and Amalia Villarreal and Holly Ward will be the Texas' most important players in this SEC tournament. But I'm actually going to go with the Texas goalkeeper, Mia Justice. As a goalie myself, I may be showing a little bit of bias here, but when it comes to SEC tournament play all over the world, we've seen time and time again that goalies can put their team on the back. Mia Justice has shown that ability as well. I don't know if you remember this, but when Texas won the Big 12 tournament last year, Mia Justice won the defensive player of the tournament. With this being her senior season, Justice will want to end her career with a bang, and as she's shown, she can be a huge part in helping Texas not only win the SEC tournament, but make a run in the NCAA tournament.
Thank you so much for that, Nolan. We'll pass it back to TJ at the desk.